Hello, friends, all of my gorgeous souls. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. So appreciative as always for your presence here in my space. If you could not already tell, I'm sure there was lots of hints here between my shorts video, the title, of course, of this video, as well as the cover photo. But this is going to be a review on this gorgeous familiar field oracle deck. This is the same creator as the Field Tarot. It is a Kickstarter campaign, so it was just fulfilled. I literally think I am one of the very first people to have my hands on this deck, which, like, that's just giving me a really great feeling, probably more than it should. But I was like, I just want to come on here and quickly get this out, probably because, in all honesty, I'm a smaller channel right now, and a lot of my videos and content don't get a lot of exposure. So just to know that I am kind of the first, I did a quick peruse on YouTube here and saw nobody else has reviewed this yet. So I also hope to be a good resource for you if you are somebody. It seems like a lot of people who find themselves on these videos are doing so because they're interested in possibly purchasing. So I'm not exactly sure how you'd have to go about that. I'd contact the creator. You can find her contact info on Kickstarter. Kickstarter campaigns are available for everybody to view kind of a lot of the information about them, even if you didn't back it or if you're not a member on Kickstarter, you can still see, like I said, a lot of things, including the contact info of the creator themselves. So if you're interested in this, if you're wanting to purchase, I would definitely reach out to her because this is probably one of the highest quality decks that has come out of Kickstarter that I personally own. It's on par with, for example, like the creator of the Sacred Bee Tarot, or the Journey of the Sacred Bee Tarot, the Wisdom of the Sacred Bee Oracle, I believe it's called. I mean, like, there's just a lot of goodness here. It's animal themed, so that's a similar sort of a vibe as well. If you enjoy that bee deck, or those bee decks, I should say, this may be one for you. If you bought the Field Tarot deck that this creator put out a few years ago, definitely this is probably a very good companion to that. And I think would be a similar quality. I don't actually own that deck yet. I've been trying to source a copy. That was a Kickstarter. It is available, though, mass marketed, and I imagine that this one likely will probably see a fuller print run through a larger company as well. So as far as I know, the way that this creator specifically does her campaigns is she does them like one and done. There's never reprinting of these. They then go to, like I said, mass marketed, a wider deal where the quality is a bit different. And obviously, it's just not going to carry the same significance, especially as a collector, if you purchase your copy from, say, Amazon versus getting it on Kickstarter. So those are a couple of housekeeping things to keep in mind. Let's jump right into this. This is stunning, gorgeous. I'm going to give you all the details. I try to be super, super descriptive. First thing that you're going to notice, my copy actually smells like incense and like insights. It smells incredible, again, because I picked it up at a local shop. But it has a very smooth matte surface. This is a gorgeous 2-part box. So, you know, the traditional, what you're used to, very hard cover. The inside cover, if you can tell, is just like this animal design to it. Really, really nice. It's kind of like the first element that you see with this. In fact, once you open up the cards and you know what they look like, you'll also see that there's a nod to the card backs in sort of these elementals, these textures, these different textures of the animal prints on the cover of the deck. This is actually one of the cards themselves, chameleon. They're just all named after the animals. And then here you have, this is like a snake-like skin. This is a leopard or a cheetah print. It looks like this is like a fur. And then this is going to be what is similar to the card backs themselves, which I'll even just show you. Why not? It's like a fish scale or even peacock feathers. It's just stunning. Really, really beautiful. But yeah, this is the inside, which is just kind of got, again, that same sort of a texturing as like the animal fur. When you look at this and you see it up close, and I don't know if it can focus for you, but it's just like there's such great detail in that. We have this guidebook, which is lovely, fits right inside. I love when the guidebook is small enough and compact enough. It's meaty. I mean, there's a lot here, a lot of substance, but it's small enough to fit in with the packaging. I just always appreciate that. We have here the guidebook being very simplified, but full of content. So you'll just notice that each card itself is, of course, the title or headline is up top. The keywords are there just below, and then each card is given a full page. It's devoted to kind of a brief synopsis about it. But aside from that, there's not much else here. So I appreciate the simple sort of, you know, I guess stylization of the guidebook. There's no color photos, for example, which I don't think are always necessary. And then in the front, you have some intros, reading oracle, and then some card spreads as well. And those are really great for beginners, or just anybody who wants to really familiarize themselves with a deck, get familiar with the familiar field tarot oracle by doing things, you know, utilizing and taking suggestions from the creator themselves. Nobody is going to know how to handle the deck best or more so than the person who created it. So moving on into the deck itself, you're going to just see that same sort of a patterning of that animal fur to the bottom of the box. The back and sides of the bottom box are kind of split between, again, that like scaly, almost like snake skin, and then leopard printing. But if you are familiar with this creator and what she has put together, ooh, every single time. I don't even do videos that often, and every single time I pretty much ever have, that's always something that happens. So that could be a sign for somebody who knows. But anyway, any person who is familiar with the field tarot is going to know that these images are going to follow that same sort of artistic sort of direction. They have a very unique, almost watercolor, just very distinctive look to them. The card backs are stunning as well. This is where, again, you're going to get that like very strong fish scale sort of a vibe. This is like rainbow fish. If anybody has read that book, The Rainbow Fish with the Scales, this is what that reminds me of. We have the sides are this really beautiful, and I don't even think it's going to pick it up because there's no light here, but this is actually in light. This is like a sparkly sort of an aqua teal color. It's coming up a little darker looking on camera. This is actually more leaning towards, like, I'd say a cross between mint and teal. So like a true aqua color to the edges. And then you've got the images themselves, and we're actually going to do a full flip through, excuse me, with the cards because there's not that many. But the cards themselves are super well done. This is a thick stock, if you can hear that. These are not going to bend easily. Oh, I'll just show you my absolute favorite card from the entire deck. I can't even with this. It is just too much. Let's focus. How about we have that? There we go. It is so, so perfect. Let's see if it gives a better... Now it's kind of giving us slightly better. It's still coming out a little darker, but slightly better view of the sides of this. The cards themselves are very matte feeling, nice and almost like a, yeah, like a very smooth finish, but very matte. Very easy to shuffle. I haven't done much with this other than just looking at everything, but it feels amazing in the hands. The colors, everything is very attractive, very true to form of I think the vision of what she intended for this deck, it being an animal-based deck. It's very, very classy for that, not kitschy at all. Really, really love it. Let's go ahead and actually take a look at these cards themselves, let you get acquainted, because that's always the most important part, right? You want to see what you're actually going to be working with if you purchase it and how you connect to those. So each card, again, is just going to have like this beautiful muted yet vibrant tone to it. Very watercolor-esque, white borders all the way around. The title of the card itself is in black with the keywords underneath. I really appreciate kind of like the modern view of this. So like the black, you know, bolding kind of boxing of that title. And then we have the sort of italicized with these little dots in between. I just like that. That's visually stunning, visually appealing to me. So they also go ahead and in the guidebook divide these up according to not just alphabetical. I was thinking that would be the case because we're starting with ant, but it actually is going to begin with the land animals, then go to sky or air would be, and then sea. So this is like the water animals. So starting with land, we have ant, and we have armadillo, bear. Hopefully you can see these. I think you can. We have camel, cat, chameleon. Again, this is the taken for the cover image as well. I always love when they do that. We have a cow. I love that there's both like domesticated animals like cats and dogs and cows. And then we've got wild animals also. We have the elephant, the fox, giraffe. I got so excited. Giraffe is my son's favorite animal. We love it. Super, super just, like classy is the word that comes to me, but it's very sophisticated. It's like probably the best approach to an animal deck that I've ever seen, especially for it not being like true images of animals. They're like drawings, you know. This is the goat. We also have the hare or the rabbit. We have the impala, so getting into more exotic animals, the kangaroo, the leopard, the lion, the monkey. I didn't realize how many land animals there were. There's so many. We have the mouse and the panda. I also love that they chose animals that are indigenous, to certain regions. Like it's really encompassing kind of a full world view. And not just presenting forth the peacock, the traditional animals that are in a lot of animal-based and animal spirit decks. The pig. There's a lot of cards in this deck as well, I noticed. The raccoon. We have the rhinoceros, the rhino. We go from a rhinoceros to a rooster. You know, I love like the full scope sort of approach to this. We have the sloth, the snake, the spider. I didn't even remember seeing this one when I flipped through it. The stag or the deer, and the wolf. I think there's two more. The worm and the zebra. We then move into air animals. So that's going to be anything basically that flies as far as I can tell. There's going to encompass insects and marsupials or mammals, whatever mammals it is that a bat is. Beginning with the bat. They're very matte to where it's almost hard to work with them if your hands are really soft and kind of, there's nothing to grip. We have the bee spirit. Bee is really popular in a lot of animal decks, but the butterfly is not. The crow, you know, there's the crow tarot, but I don't see crow very often in oracles. We have the dragonfly. It's kind of like you'll see either or. You'll see some of this kind or some of the other kind in different decks, but this is kind of having them all together, which is lovely. We have the eagle. We have the firefly, the first time I've ever seen a firefly. We also call it a lightning bug where I'm from in a deck. We have the fly, like why, but why not? We have the ladybug. Feel free to, if I'm flipping through these pretty quick, pause the video if you really want to see a particular image. That's what I do. The owl, I thought this was like so beautiful. This like snowy image of an owl. It's very, very pretty. We have the parrot and the vulture. And that concludes the air animals, the sky animals. So we've gone through land and sky. Now we're going to do water, my favorite category. And I haven't looked at exactly what those, you know, if they have themes to them, but I would imagine the land animals are going to represent earth energy. So of course, more groundedness, more stability, focused energy. I would envision that the air or the sky animals are going to embody air energy. So maybe critical thinking, decision-making, mental energy more so, or communication, and then water being emotions, but we'll see. We have the beaver. We have the crab, which is one of my favorites, being a Cancer. We have the crocodile, super menacing image. And I even think it says, yeah, aggression on here. I think that so far the keywords I've caught are pretty apt for all of the different animals. We have the fish, the flamingo. I think this is featured, yep, prominently as one of those on the back. We have the frog. It's like a rainforest frog. The jellyfish. We're coming up on my favorite card, which I kind of gave you a little peek of. So beautiful. We have the octopus and the otter. We also have the penguin. Oop, the ray, the stingray. No shark. I would have liked a shark. I don't know. Maybe because they had the crocodile, they felt that that was significant. But that's probably the only animal that I'm missing, personally, me. The seahorse, the swan, one of my favorites. Beautiful. Love, allure, and purity. Such great keywords, too. Really unique. The turtle, the walrus, and my absolute favorite, I was like, please let them have a whale. Please let there be a whale. And then the image, the picture of the whale that they chose, my absolute favorite creature that exists on this entire planet. I just like, it's meant to be that I was supposed to own it. So, you know, again, real simple. This is a very simple deck. There's not a whole lot of like frills, bells and whistles, but from what is here and what's been done, it's been done and executed perfectly. I'm very, very comfortable already with just handling this deck. I feel like the approach to how it's going to read is very easily accessible to a lot of people, especially beginners. I always recommend that people that want to read for themselves, especially, or who want to get into card reading, you know, tarot and tarot-like systems, so like even Lenormand or cartomancy, these are all very difficult systems to learn if you really want to be very accurate and learn them well. But Oracle is so simple because you can literally just pull a card, the ladybug, which represents luck, positivity, and happiness. And you can either intuitively, what does the ladybug imagery or what do the keywords say to you in context and in regards to the question posed, or you can actually go to the guidebook and you can read in the guidebook, and then it kind of just gives you the answer. And so that's why I really love Oracle. It just reads very differently than tarot or any other system, and it's very, again, approachable. So on that note, this was a very, very quick review. In fact, let me take a look. Yeah, very, very short for in comparison to what I usually do, but I wanted to just get this out there, let you guys get this first look, see what you're thinking and feeling. Let me know down in the comments how what your first impression is in regards to this deck. If you've ordered it and you're waiting for it to arrive, I'd love to know that you are going to be receiving yours also. I love to connect with other creators, other readers, other people that are into the same interest that I am. But one thing I do that's a bit different than other people that do deck reviews is at the very end of my reviews, I always like to go ahead and do a mini pick a card. And the purpose of that is just so you can see the cards in action, you can see how they read, you can get a feel for how I read to see if you maybe want to stick around for more content on my channel. And again, it's just an idea, a way to get acquainted with the deck, and then to get, you know, a little bit of a message, a little bit of insight from the deck itself as a thank you for watching the video and stopping by. So I'm going to go ahead, do a little bit of shuffling to get these cards really well incorporated and mixed and ready to begin. I will come back and have 3 separate piles for you to choose from so that you can decide if you want to stay tuned to the end of this video for that pick a card. It'll just be a message of guidance, whatever you most need to know regarding life right now at the time that you're catching this video. Again, courtesy of the Familiar Field Oracle. So give me just a moment. I'll pop right back on. I'll be right back with you with those 3 piles, and we'll go ahead and we'll get into the mini pick a card portion of this video, this review. One moment. So welcome back. As I said, just one moment, which was actually quite a few moments, but that's what I love about editing. So I have our 3 piles for you as promised. You will go ahead and select this by either the look of the pile, whichever one drew you in either first or is drawing you in most, whichever one is really calling to you. Maybe you're really kind of tuned into the particular crystal that's on them, which I will go over in just a moment. Or also you can check with the timestamps. They will always be posted below of this video so that you can reference those if that's a way that you like to choose also. So for pile 1, we have this gorgeous piece of amazonite. It's like that mint, tealy, aqua green. Pile 2 is this beautiful, big, huge piece of apatite. And pile 3 is this deeper blue, this iolite piece. Go ahead again, select over the pile, select whichever one is drawing you in, calling to you, and I will meet you over at your pile in a moment for your mini pick a card, courtesy of the Familiar Field Oracle. Hey, pile 1. My amazonite pile, thank you for staying tuned to the end of this video. I am so happy and honored to be able to go ahead and do this mini pick a card for you. If you end up enjoying this reading or this review, I invite you to subscribe if you haven't already done so. I do lots of reviews like this, usually all of brand new decks that have just released. I also do full pick of cards over a range of topics, always focused though on love, the highest vibration of all, high vibrational living overall, healing, just abundant living. So if any of that appeals to you, if you've stumbled on this video for the first time, or if you're a returning viewer but haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. It also helps the growth of my channel, the growth and expansion of my endeavor here on this platform. So I've asked for whatever it is that you most need to know right now, pile one, and I got for you the raccoon, which is ingenuity, disguise, and resourcefulness. I also then got the panda, which is solitude, tranquility, and contentment. And the swan, love, allure, and purity. Right away, pile one, I got very strong vibes of hiding or being secretive, because both of these two characters, both of these animals, the raccoon and the panda, represent something being masked. So a mask being worn, something being concealed, not revealed. We actually have literally disguise in the raccoon energy. We also have solitude, and that was kind of what stood out to me of the panda energy coming through, and it is central to the spread. So I think that what's happening here is you're really shutting yourself out from a lot of things in life. I think you've gotten very good at, being in your own independent energy and being very resourceful, being very strategic in that. I think it keeps you safe. I do think there's a fear surrounding love, surrounding the idea of opening and receiving from another, that loving energy that I think you desire, but are again too fearful, too afraid, too distrusting to actually take on and incorporate into your life. It's just easier to stay alone, to stay independent, to, sort of just kind of, I'm also getting like a very, this is a scurrying energy with the raccoon. So this is somebody who kind of like just is very surface level. So you may have engagements with people, you may date, or you may, like I said, interact, but it seems to be very surface, very superficial, very like skirting around. Just, I'm here one day, I'm here the next, and never really anchoring and planting roots. What's really significant about this swan is that the artist has chosen to depict this swan as one swan, which is considered a demi-swan. Swans mate for life, so they have chosen their life partner and they stay together for life, for forever. And they're actually considered to be so bonded to their mates and to always, represent this idea of a pair, that when it's just one swan by itself, it's called a demi-swan, which is like half a swan, because it's not whole when it's not with its partner, with its mate. So for me, the fact that this is depicting an energy of love, but also purity, and then it's showing just one swan by itself, again, these are very strong loner energies for me. I really think what Spirit is trying to share with you is that it's a need on your part to kind of reopen, reignite this energy about connecting more deeply both with self, healing anything that perhaps prevents you from seeking out what you truly desire, and then going after that and again connecting with others as well at a deep level. Purification may be needed, so maybe some deep healing work, some inner work, some shadow work, whatever it is that is going to help you kind of set you off on the right track to be able to move forward confidently, proudly, and eagerly. So again, you can receive, you can give and receive the highest vibration of all in the universe, which again is love. So hopefully pile one, that has resonated for you, that you can take that in and that's brought you some clarity. I again have been so honored to have you here today. I hope to see you again. And until next time, pile one, I would take great care. Bye-bye. Pile two, I am so happy to have you here with me. Thank you so much for deciding to stick around to the very end of this video for this mini pick a card reading, courtesy of the Familiar Field Oracle. You have chosen the piece of Aeipathy, this gorgeous big blue crystal. Now, before I begin, I just want to say very quickly, again, housekeeping things. If you end up enjoying this mini pick a card, or if you've enjoyed the review so far, I invite you to subscribe if you haven't already done so. If this is either your first time navigating your way to my channel, or if you have visited this space previously but just haven't subscribed, I really implore you and would request that you consider doing so. It really helps the growth and expansion of my channel. I am a smaller channel at this point, and just hoping to continue to, again, grow and reach the wider collective. So your input, your involvement, and your interaction gives me the ability to do that. So please consider that if you haven't already done so. I also offer full pick of cards, and I have lots of other reviews of all brand new decks that have just been released that I love to share with everybody, all of my viewers. So if that is of interest to you, go and check those out as well. This particular reading, this mini pick a card, is again just an introduction to show you how this deck works, how it reads, how you can get a feel for how the messages come through, how the reading is itself, the flow of it. I've asked for just some general guidance of whatever you most need to be aware of right now. And for you, pile 2, we've gotten the mouse, which is focus, conservation, and modesty. And what's really funny, I just did a channeled reading, just some channeled insights, intuitive insights on TikTok. And conservation was like a huge energy that came through pile 2 over on that reading as well. So it's kind of interesting, the nod, the tie to both number 2s. The cow, which is fertility, nurture, and abundance. And number 3, which is the crocodile. Third card, aggression, waiting, and awareness. So that crocodile energy, which is very fierce, very menacing, and in some cases violent or predatory. And then we have this prey, this little tiny timid mouse. Those are polar opposite energies. I think that you toggle, you go back and forth between extremes. I would consider this to be very strongly in masculine, and in some cases disordered masculine energy, regardless of gender. And at other times being very timid, very afraid, very fearful, or untrusting. And that would be more of your feminine energy, very emotional, but also, again, scared. So not standing firm and empowered, and eager and receptive to what life presents, feeling unsure of it, again, not trusting of it. So what's really strong about this also is that we have this middle of the road energy, the cow, which is a symbol of abundance and fertility. It's a very fortuitous energy. In some cultures, in fact, cows are sacred, right? So I think what it's saying here, what Source wants you to be aware of, is that you really do have the capability to balance out these energies and kind of get back on the road to success, to true abundance manifestation. I think because there's been such wild extremes in your energy so frequently lately, it's hard for you to really stay grounded, to stay focused, to really manifest the things that you desire. You're either too afraid and too fearful to take a step, or you're, I'm going to consider this less aggression and more about impulsivity perhaps, or about, I think, just taking things on in a way, in a context of a very assertive energy, one that is very like focused on forcing, almost making things happen. Like, this is going to go my way, whether no matter what. And one thing that's really important to know is that we are vibrational beings. So the laws of the universe and how we interact with it, being vibrational, energetic beings, is through energy. So as much as you may think that these outward energies that you're presenting in, either being very cautious and very, timid, or being very, straightforward and assertive, or in some cases aggressive and a go-getter, neither of those things alone are really going to have an impact. What determines how things go for you, how abundant you can be, is in your energy. If you embody a very calm, stable presence, a very grounded energy, the majority of the time, then all of your desires that you're wanting will manifest for you. You will naturally have them gravitate towards you. You will neither need to feel afraid, nor will you need to feel like you have to seek out those opportunities so actively, and to push and to work so hard for them, right? So think of the crocodile, how the crocodile has to seek out its food. It has to like actively hunt and stalk and, kill. It has to go about these things in a very strong way. This is kind of saying strong and weak need to blend together into their right best elements. This is a card very much of alchemization to me, so temperance energy, and embody more of the cow. Just be more at ease, more content with what is, and embody a more stable, again, grounded, secure energy, one that naturally feels abundant, because that's what's going to attract more abundance in. And again, a consistent flow, a consistent energy, alchemization, harmony, pure energetic alignment that doesn't see you kind of swinging back and forth within these two extremes, and just more staying in a balanced, steady energy. So pile 2, I hope that message has resonated for you, that you could take that in, that it's brought you some clarity. And if you have enjoyed this mini pick a card as well as my review today, again, feel free to subscribe, and I hope to see you in the future. Until then, take great care, pile 2. Bye-bye. Hey, pile 3, my last pile of the day. Thank you. Just once again, real quick thanks and appreciative sort of a statement about having you here with me today. I am a smaller channel, if you haven't noticed, and so all of the engagement, all of your support, even just visiting the space really means a lot. It helps my growth and expansion. It means the world to me once again that you are here. If you end up enjoying this mini pick a card, or if you've also just enjoyed the review today and would like to subscribe, I definitely invite you to do so. That way you'll never miss any of the content that I post. I have lots of full pick a card readings based on love, energies of connections, if that appeals to you. Otherwise, just solitary, self-focused energies for high vibrational living, healing, all sorts of wonderful things, as well as, again, all their deck reviews and unboxings and intros, all going to be, again, things that have just released or things that are rarer and newer and that I acquired that I love to share with you all. So once again, if you would like to, definitely feel free to do so. If it's your first time navigating your way here to my space, or if you've been here previously, just feel free to kind of be friends with me so that you can come back again. In the meantime, let's get your mini message here, your mini pick a card going from the Familiar Field Oracle deck. You have chosen pile 3, which is this Aeipathy piece, this beautiful dark blue. And what I've intended for this is just to be told whatever you need to know most right now. So general guidance for you, specifically pile 3. We got the eagle, which is freedom, perspective, and victory. We also got the crab, which is kind of the opposite of that, which is growth, trust, and security. So this is flying free, and this is kind of staying grounded and staying in your shell. And then we also have rhinoceros energy coming out for you today, which is force, stronghold, and barriers. Pile 3. 2 cards coming out for you now about barriers, about needing to feel secure, about trusting. And force and stronghold are not very positively connotated words to me. Those are resistance words almost, of like holding on to something for dear life, really pushing your way through something. Of course, barriers as well is going to be like bulldozing your way through, and also blocking other things out. It's just not a healthy, approachable energy. It's not really going to get you to everywhere that you want to be in life when you're in that, and that embodiment of energy. This is a similar message to pile 2. We have, though, in the center, growth. Growth is going to happen through trust and through security in understanding that the universe always has your back and all is always well. You don't need to have these strong barriers, these obstacles that you're putting in your own way, this resistance that's not allowing things to shift and change and evolve into what they are meant to be for you. I think that you're someone who's very grounded. You could even be an earth sign. So you're someone that needs to always have a plan, that always needs to feel safe. And I think that if you ever don't, it's a very strong trigger for you. I'm actually even getting that in this eagle energy of like, you're just going to fly away. You're just going to, go off and flee the scene if something doesn't feel right to you. Now, that's, of course, a good energy to be in for the most part. But I think what's actually happening here is you're not always heeding true intuition, and you're really feeding into a lot of anxious energy. Again, the energy that's embodied here through the rhinoceros, which is that barrier, that resistant, sort of forceful fighting against the current energy. You need to flow more. You need to trust more. You need to just allow life to present itself to you in all of its magnificentness. Again, allow the universe to show you all of the wonderful things that can manifest. Freedom, perspective, and victory, success in something. So there, whatever this is that you're wondering about, maybe you've asked for that today, some insight and some guidance on it. You can have success with it. You can feel free. You can reach a higher vantage point, have a different perspective on it. But again, when you're kind of in the shallows here, in the depths actually of being on the ground and being very, again, stronghold is like resistant and hanging tight onto something and not allowing things to free flow, and just like micromanaging is coming through very strongly, but a need to very much exert control over your physical environment. That is where you're encountering the most difficulty, is in releasing that need to control, is not allowing you to, again, be free and open to everything that life wants to give you. So that's the main message here, is your trust and your security will actually come in different forms if you change your perspective and you start to see things for the true abundant nature that they are. Release a lot of the resistant energy that you're sitting in currently, pile 3, and you'll start to see and experience that freeing energy of victory and success and prosperity and abundance, which I think you ultimately, of course, are wanting. So pile 3, I so hope that you've enjoyed this mini message courtesy of the Familiar Field Oracle deck. Again, once more, if you have enjoyed this, please consider subscribing. It would mean the world to me if you do. I hope to see you in a future reading. And until next time, pile 3, I hope you take great care of yourself.